It's no secret that the majority of Donald Trump's supporters take the things that he says, no matter how ridiculous or hypocritical, fully at face value. These people have found themselves locked up in echo chambers of misinformation and mistrust, but very occasionally, a little truth will poke through, like at this Trump rally in Greensboro, North Carolina.
What are some of his policies that you like the most?
The border control in Mexico. That's a huge policy.
Do you think they should have passed the bill to build more of the wall?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Trump negotiated that they wouldn't pass it.
Passing in regards to the bill.
The bill to build more of the wall and to increase border security. Trump said don't pass it, so they didn't pass it. That just happened.
Okay. Well, I have mixed views on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what would the mixed views be?
I mean, I think they should control more people, illegal immigrants, from coming in, bringing in drugs.
Right, that's what the bill was about. It was about building more of the wall and controlling who comes in here.
Yeah, I agree with that part.
So you would have wanted the bill to pass?
Yeah.
Okay. So would you disagree with Trump on that then?
Mostly I agree with him, but in this case, I mean, I don't know the exact reasoning behind why he's not wanting to pass it.
He wanted it to be a campaign issue, and so if they pass it and then the border is kind of more regulated, more sealed up, then they wouldn't be able to campaign on it.
Okay, well that makes sense then.
A lot of these folks are so desperate to believe that Trump is right, and certainly to say that Trump is right, that you can see them in real time trying to change their opinion as they're talking. The little squirm that they do reminds me of how, like, all those vice presidential hopefuls act when you ask them if they'll accept the results of the election. They know what they should say, they know what's right to say, but Trump might be watching.
Would you like the president to have the power to close different border crossing at his whim, to close it whenever he wanted?
Yes.
So there was a bill in Congress recently that Donald Trump had people in Congress not support. It was a bipartisan bill to give the president the authority to close different border crossings. Are you upset with Trump that he urged them not to pass that bill?
No, because I know that he can handle. He's handled it before, and I know that once he gets back into the administration, he can bring back the policies that he did have and hopefully get control over the border again. So.
And what about immigration? Is that an important issue for you?
Absolutely, because the border is being flooded right now, so we actually do need to cut that back a little bit so that we can take care of the people that are here in this country right now.
If there was a bipartisan bill in Congress that did cut that also gave the president the power to shut down specific border crossings at their whim, would you support that?
Anything that stops this flood of migrants right now is just too much.
Because the U.S. Congress just had a bill, an immigration bill, and Donald Trump, who's not in office now, is trying to urge members of his party not to support it, even though it did what I just said. What do you think about that, and would you like to tell Trump to actually support it? Because that's what you were saying you wanted.
All I have to say is build that wall. That's all I have to say about that.
Is the border an important issue for you?
It's the most important issue.
The most.
Our sovereignty of our country is at stake, yes.
That there was a bill in Congress that gave the president power to shut off different border crossings as the surges were happening and close them entirely. Would you be supportive of that?
Congress is never going to do that.
Well, Congress just had a bill that would have given the president power for that, no?
The Congress had a bill that's codified 5,000 illegal aliens a day. That's not border security.
So there's no middle ground then. It's either all or nothing or nothing in your take.
I believe the Democrats want 10 million more votes, and they'll get them at the next census with all these illegal aliens coming across. That's what I believe. They want congressional House seats.
But these aren't people that are getting citizenship, right? I mean, they're not granted.
But eventually they probably will, and I just think the extra congressional seats for the Democrats is what they're after.
Is the border an important issue to you?
Very much so. Very much so.
Would you be supportive of a bill that gave the president the authority to close different border crossings at will when the surge got too high?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So Donald Trump just urged people in his own party in Congress to oppose such a bill. How did you feel about that?
I can't comment on that. I'm not sure. I'm not going to comment on something I don't know about.
Is the border an important issue for you?
Oh, 110%. I think there's been a lot of crime driven from the border and the infrastructure from there, and I don't think that it's helping the American people. And that's what I care about in my eyes is the Americans. We're giving money to immigrants that are coming over here for a free $10,000.
Would you support a bill that gave the president the authority to close border crossings at his or her whim whenever there was a surge in migration?
Oh, 110%.
So were you set when Donald Trump went and told people in Congress that they shouldn't support a bill that had that as a provision? That was the most recent immigration bill?
I don't support it. I think that he should have the authority to do such, but there's a lot of legality behind that, and I understand Donald Trump is trying to protect his back and what happens with him.
Look, seeing people let go of their own positions so that they can agree with Trump or at least maintain their faith in Trump is bad enough. But seeing elected officials abandon their own beliefs and the well-being and best interests of their constituents is honestly scary. Aside from a few 100% ostracized outliers, the entire Republican Party is morphed into a Trump clown show. Trump can tell lies, and for many of his base even commit crimes with total immunity. At this point, we can't assume that a conviction or even jail time would end his hold on this segment of America.
The president actually just got off the phone with me right before the show, and he said he has spoken to you about this deal and that he is against it, and he urged you to be against this deal. He was President Trump was extremely adamant about that. Your reaction to that, given the fact that, look, he knows how to do this enforcement stuff. You don't need some new bill coming out of the Senate to get the border enforced.
Yeah, President Trump is not wrong. He and I have been talking about this pretty frequently. I talked to him night before last about the same subject. We don't have the text of whatever the Senate has cooked up yet. And so we have to reserve judgment, I think, to see what comes out of it.
Committed partisans and weenie politicians are always going to run defense and spin things for the leader of their party. We're used to that. But this is a whole nother level. They have been beaten into submission by Donald Trump year by year. Anyone with even a hint of a backbone has long since been run out of the party. Those who remain are the ultimate survivors, which means the ultimate bootlickers. You can see it in the way they insist on still calling him President Trump. They say it like a prayer. You can see it in the way they'll torpedo their own loftiest political goals, like that bipartisan border bill, just to help Daddy Trump possibly win in November. Someday we'll be past this, when we're finally past Trump. But we can't delude ourselves into thinking that will be soon. In the meantime, we have to fight to keep him out of office. It is a tough fight, a grueling fight, but it's the difference between being tormented by the mere existence of Trump and being tormented by him once again holding power. Only now, with a far larger mob of toadies, thugs, and goons doing his bidding.
Okay, well that makes sense then.
When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?